A manhunt for a suspect wanted for bombings in New York and New Jersey ends in a gun battle here in Linden, New Jersey. I'm Kenneth Craig with the latest coming up.
We are learning more about the gas station clerk who is recovering at UK Hospital after being shot during an attempted robbery. Meanwhile, Lexington police are continuing to work to track down those responsible.
I didn't think anybody would believe me about it.
Reports of creepy clowns popping up in some southern states, and now there are sightings here in Kentucky.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us here at 5. We begin with a breaking news alert out of Casey County where a toddler is missing.
We just talked with Kentucky State Police about their efforts to find the child. We're told that the search is centered around Upper Brush Creek Road near the Lincoln-Casey County line. Police say they are assuming for now the boy wandered off. He went missing about 5 hours ago.
Both state police and the Casey County Sheriff's Office are working right now to find that toddler. Our news crew should arrive on the scene within the next 30 minutes or so. We'll bring you an update on that search in Casey County as new information becomes available.
A massive manhunt for the suspect wanted in connection with bombings in New York City and New Jersey is now over.
Police arrested Ahmed Khan Ramami after a gun battle in New Jersey. A law enforcement official says fingerprints and surveillance video helped investigators identify the man as a suspect in the attack in Manhattan. Kenneth Craig has the very latest from Linden, New Jersey. It's our top story at 5.
Well, this afternoon, a lot of people in this region are breathing a major sigh of relief after authorities say they got the man they were looking for off the streets just hours after releasing his name.
Bombing suspect Ahmed Khan Rahami was wheeled into an ambulance after a shootout with police in Linden, New Jersey. Rahami had been on the run since Saturday's bombing in New York City and the Jersey Shore.
We have directly linked Rahami to devices from New York and from Saturday in New Jersey.
Police say Rahami, a naturalized citizen from Afghanistan, was caught on surveillance video near the explosion in Chelsea that left 29 people injured.
We have every reason to believe this was an act of terror.
Authorities say Rahami was sleeping in the doorway of a local bar when 2 officers confronted him. They say he shot one of those officers, then took off running.
We did return fire to the suspect, striking him several times and taking him down.
Early Monday, the FBI raided the suspect's apartment in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and collected evidence. Investigators also recovered a backpack filled with bombs at a nearby train station, including one that a robot detonated. So far, authorities say there is no indication Rahami is part of a cell. President Obama is urging everyone to remain vigilant.
I think it's important to remember what terrorists and violent extremists are trying to do. They are trying to hurt innocent people, but they also want to inspire fear in all of us.
Police have detained at least 5 others in connection with the bombings.
And we are standing just down the street from where this man was finally captured. You can see still a very active police presence out here right now. Authorities say this will take quite some time to piece all together. Reporting in Linden, New Jersey, I'm Kenneth Craig. Now back to you.
Officials say the unidentified officer was shot in the stomach area and is expected to survive. It's been 2 days since a Lexington gas station clerk was shot on the job, and today that man is still fighting for his life.
We are learning new details about Charles Moore, who is still in the hospital. As Moore's loved ones rally around him, police are still searching for the people responsible for shooting him. Hillary Thornton has more on the victim's recovery and who police are looking for.
Well, as the clerk continues to recover at University of Kentucky Hospital, Lexington police are working hard to track down the group of people they believe is responsible. Police say Charles Moore, known by many as Chuck, was shot multiple times on Saturday during the attempted robbery. At this point, the only information released by police about the suspects is that they believe 3 men are involved, 2 who went inside when Moore was shot, and a 3rd who waited outside with their getaway vehicle. We are told investigators are reviewing surveillance images from the Marathon station as well as the Shell station at Lexington Green, where they believe the same group could be behind an armed robbery that happened within an hour of the shooting. Those surveillance pictures have not been released. We are told that a stolen vehicle used in at least one of those incidents has been found by police. Meanwhile, Moore remains at UK Hospital. where family members say he is stable but considered in critical condition. They say the 49-year-old is a veteran who proudly served in the Marines. Moore has undergone 2 surgeries so far. A fundraising site now set up to cover mounting medical bills, as well as for 2 dogs Moore is caring for who have their own special medical needs. They say Moore has fostered several rescue dogs over the past decade. Family members of Moore say he is making some progress at UK Hospital, but certainly has a long road ahead. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And family members told us they are still waiting to learn the full extent of Moore's injuries.
Police think that fog played a role in an accident that claimed a 21-year-old man's life. The Fayette County coroner says that 21-year-old David Chesternia died after crashing on DeLong Road near Tates Creek Road just before 7 this morning. Police say that he crashed into a fence. A doctor who was on his way to work saw the motorcyclist down on the side of DeLong Road and tried to save his life.
A doctor from UK Med had stopped by and performed first aid at the scene. He was unable to get the victim to respond and passed away here on the road.
Chereshnia was not wearing a helmet. Ambulances rushed 2 people to the hospital after another crash in Lexington. A pickup truck turned over on the railroad tracks at South Forbes and Manchester. Emergency crews had to cut open the wreckage to free the 2 people inside. We're told the people have potentially life-threatening injuries.
A Kentucky town is the latest to deal with an odd problem and an eerie one. Images showing a creepy clown standing along a roadway in Laurel County popped up over the weekend. As WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us, it is the latest in a string of cases all across the country.
The clown sighting here in Laurel County Sunday night actually follows some recent similar situations in North and South Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. Now, in those cases, police in those states received reports of people actually trying to lure kids into the woods. Now, this did not happen here in Laurel County, but the woman we spoke with says the sight of a clown standing so close to a busy roadway was simply terrifying.
I was in a state of shock. I didn't know what to do. Like I said, I didn't think anybody would believe me about it. I took a picture, didn't plan on posting it until others told me that they started seeing the same thing.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says they have not received complaints about clowns, but they say they are aware of what is going on in other states. They do not think the person was necessarily doing anything illegal.
And if it becomes a problem in the area where it's causing a danger for motorists, then we'll have to get involved.
I also learned today that police in Pulaski County received a complaint of 3 people in clown costumes acting very suspiciously. We're going to have a lot more on that coming up at 6 o'clock, but for now, in Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
It is very odd. Police say if people dress up like clowns to create problems, they could be charged with disorderly conduct or wanton endangerment.
After a bit of a soggy weekend, it's clearing up for our work week, and even though fall is popping up on the calendar this week, Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey says summer is sticking around. He joins us with the warm details. Chris.
Yeah, I wish I could change it up a little bit. I'm just the messenger in all this, though. We are rolling our way toward calendar fall. Although summertime just continues to dominate the weather across the Bluegrass State. Today, very nice, though. Temperatures generally 80 to 85, much of the area. We've got the sunshine after the fog from a little earlier this afternoon. Mix of sun and clouds showing up right now. And again, low to mid 80s into much of central and eastern Kentucky, similar to what we should be seeing 24 hours from now. Now, earlier today, I mentioned the fog, had a little misty showers. Southeastern Kentucky, I could still see a little light shower trying to squeeze out of the sky. Overall, majority of that stuff is off to our east, and that's where we have one system that is right on top of the Myrtle Beach area. That's what's left of Tropical Storm Julia. Will not go away, and you know what that's doing? It's blocking up the entire pattern. So the weather across the country is not moving. So that warm air that is in place across the region now is just going to stay there for the next several days. Nice evening, though. At least we have that going for us. 77 at 7 o'clock. We'll knock that down by about 10 degrees or so into the upper 60s by 11. A little valley fog will begin to fire up by that time. The sizzle from summer continues, though I am tracking a change for the weekend forecast. I'll show you how 2 cold fronts may at least play a small role into our weather picture.
Chris, thank you. After walking away with a win on Saturday, the Cats are now focused on South Carolina.
And one of the big questions, who will start at quarterback on Saturday's game at Commonwealth Stadium? This morning, the coach, Mark Stoops, gave an update on Drew Barker's condition. Rob, what do you have to say?
Well, quarterback Drew Barker has a back injury, and it's something that's been lingering since the summer. That was the biggest news that came out of Mark Stoops' regular Monday news conference. Barker is still listed as the starter for Saturday against South Carolina, but you would have to question that. He left the New Mexico State game after the opening series, did not return. Stoops wasn't sure today about the weekend.
We'll see how the week goes on. I'm in no position to talk about that right now. He had an MRI. He's going to consult with our doctors and some specialists, and we'll get to the bottom of it and see what's best for him.
Stoops had plenty more to say today. He said tackle Cole Mosier is getting back from an ankle injury. He complimented freshman Landon Young for the job that he did over the weekend. He said linebacker Kenjaret Daniel has been suspended, but will return in a week. And he called out his entire secondary. Safety Marcus McWilson by name, saying he has to play better. We'll have much more on all of that coming up a little bit later in sports.
Rob, thank you. And the Cats kick off with South Carolina is at 7:30 Saturday night at Commonwealth Stadium.
Still ahead at 5, a big celebration today for some children at a Scott County school. How the young at heart age for a day, all in support of this very special milestone.
And a warning for parents and doctors about codeine and kids. A new report breaks down the potentially deadly dangers coming up in our Better Living report.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, it looks good out there across the area. Far cry from how the day started when we had low clouds, fog, a little bit of mist out there. And temperatures this afternoon still not too shabby. That's going to change, though. We're going to steam it up again. Live look outside, 9 live sky cams. I-65 to the mountains of eastern Kentucky. Everybody showing that famous mix of sun and some clouds out there with temperatures that have been into the 80s. Let me get on this side of the map. 77 at 7 o'clock this evening. Overall, very nice. 70 by the time we hit 9 and 11 o'clock this evening. Upper 60s, that will show up with a touch of some fog, especially near those waterways, and especially, I think, southern and southeastern Kentucky. Should not be as widespread as what we had this morning, though this time of year you can get some patchy, dense fog anywhere across the area. High pressure on top of the Nashville, Tennessee area. Low pressure, what's left of Tropical Storm Julia on top of Myrtle Beach. Some of that's going to try to inch its way back to the west, and in doing so, just kind of keeps the pattern from progressing. So the cool shot of air that is coming into the high plains right now, you know what? It's never going to get in here this week. There's a chance late this weekend into next week we get a couple of cold fronts in here, but between now and then, what you see is what you're going to be getting. A lot of mid and maybe some upper 80s over the next few days, and it's mainly a dry sky. Fall around here is dry. We've been spoiled over the past several years when we've had beneficial rains throughout the fall. One thing to keep in mind this year, we had such a wet summer. Now in September, we've kind of turned the faucet off for a prolonged stretch for many of us. Yeah, we had a little drink yesterday, but overall it's still dry. So that fall forest fire season that is around the corner, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. What about rain chances rolling forward? Best chance right now is on Monday, though you have a chance, small one on Saturday, and even smaller chance Thursday across southeastern Kentucky. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast, and the new numbers are in. And very similar to what we had earlier, right around 60 to begin the day tomorrow. Look at tomorrow afternoon, middle 80s galore, plenty of sunshine. We go into Wednesday. What do you think is going to happen? 60 to start, mid and maybe upper 80s to end. Oh, shocker, look at that. Mid and upper 80s, plenty of sunshine into Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we start to change it up just a little bit, maybe a shower into southeastern Kentucky, but I still think most areas stay dry with a lot of upper 80s, and before the week is over, we can tickle 90 degrees. Here's that change for the weekend. It's a backdoor cold front. Why is it a backdoor front? We're looking at it coming in from the northeast to the southwest. That may briefly get in here for Saturday night and Sunday to cool us down into parts of the area. We go from the middle 80s on Saturday. By the way, I think Friday's a 90-degree day into much of the region. 80s on Saturday, maybe upper 70s to low 80s. Amber's excited about that on Sunday. That'll carry us into Monday as well with another front then.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I didn't get excited over here.
No problem.
Just
We're
don't
good.
bother me. Yeah.
We're good.
Little phone malfunction down here.
It's all right.
Thanks.
That was not my fault.
No.
Not my fault.
Don, we'll talk to you later. A new Homeland Security audit says hundreds of people from countries that pose national security issues were able to become citizens. What the government has to say about how that happened coming up.
Police released surveillance video of some robbers who forced employees at a Frankfurt pizza chain into a freezer. See if you recognize the criminals new at 5:30. Hundreds of people have been able to get U.S. citizenship even though they came from countries that pose national security issues.
And that's according to an internal Homeland Security audit released today. The department's inspector general found at least 858 immigrants used different names or birth dates to apply for citizenship. The discrepancies were not caught because fingerprints of the immigrants in question were missing from government databases. An Elon University poll released today shows that more North Carolina voters oppose House Bill number 2 than support it. That law cuts protections to the LGBT community. The poll shows close to 60% of voters think the law has damaged North Carolina's reputation. The law has prompted entertainers and sports associations, including the NAACP and Atlantic Coast Conference, to cancel major events in the state.
No one was hurt when a bus full of school children ended up in a crash. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says a teenage driver pulled in front of the bus around 8 this morning on Kentucky 1394 at Ferris Jones Road. Another bus came in to pick up the students and they were able to go on to school. The crash is still under investigation. Some students at a Scott County elementary school got to take part in history.
Garth Elementary is celebrating turning 90 years old this week. And as Andrea Walker shows us, the students got into the spirit of the celebration.
Yesterday, Garth Elementary School celebrated 90 years with this historical marker in the school's front lawn. And today, the celebration continued with some good old fun.
Watch out, old man coming through.
That's right, students and staff are partying like it's 1926, sporting wrinkles, canes, powdered wigs, rollers, and walkers, all in honor of the school's 90th birthday.
It's hilarious. We've been laughing all morning. They're the cutest little old people you've ever seen.
The halls at Garth Elementary are lined with 90 years worth of memories.
It's just amazing the love that people have for this building and this area. It's wonderful. There's a lot of love inside this old building.
And while the students had a lot of fun pretending to be as old as their school today.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can you say and spell your name for me?
Say that again.
Can you say and spell your name for me?
Yeah, I heard that.
They also learned a valuable lesson.
Always respect old people.
The fun continues tomorrow with a 90th birthday party here at Garth, and teachers tell us there will be cupcakes for everybody. In Scott County, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Everybody loves a cupcake, no matter their age. And some local businesses have chipped in to help commemorate the occasion as well. Through their donations, every student will receive a 90th birthday T-shirt tomorrow during the school's birthday party. Congratulations. A hiking trip takes an unforgettable end for a couple in the Red River Gorge. We'll find out what was hanging out around their car that kept them from going home.
A new warning for parents and doctors about pain relievers in children, and we take a closer look at post-pregnancy problems many women don't know about. That's ahead in Better Living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. For decades, codeine has been used for pain relief for children. Now a new report is warning doctors and parents about some potentially deadly dangers. Don Champion has more from Dallas.
A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics says doctors and parents should stop giving codeine to children under 18. Codeine has been linked to dangerous side effects and rare deadly breathing reactions, but some doctors still prescribe it to treat pain or cough in kids.
There have been deaths associated with codeine use in children undergoing tonsillectomy, but not just tonsillectomy, and particularly children who have problems with sleep apnea.
The body turns codeine into morphine, and experts say depending on how fast the body breaks it down, some children get too much of the drug. Despite previous warnings from the AAP and the FDA, the drug is still available in many over-the-counter cough medicines in many states. Dr. Randall Flick from the Mayo Clinic was part of an FDA panel last year that found no evidence codeine works for cough. And when it comes to pain, there are safer alternatives, including oxycodone.
The risks of using oxycodone are different and much less than those with codeine.
And Dr. Flick says when it comes to treating pain after tonsillectomies, medications like acetaminophen and ibuprofen are becoming more common. Don Champion, CBS News, Dallas.
An FDA review found there were 21 deaths from codeine in children from 1965 to 2015 and more than 60 cases of severe breathing reactions. Most new moms know that it's going to take time for their body to recover from giving birth, but there are some little talked about effects of delivery that many women find surprising. During pregnancy, heightened estrogen levels contribute to hair and nail growth. When those hormone levels drop off after giving birth, many women experience hair loss. For most women, hair loss will level off before baby's first birthday. Another big change that often surprises women is that their favorite shoes will no longer fit.
A lot of times women will be a half a size or a size bigger after they deliver. And what happens from changes that happen hormonally and things relax with our ligaments, as well as the added weight and the way we walk when we're pregnant, women will tend to become a little bit more flat-footed and they lose their arch, and so their feet will get bigger.
The effects of having a baby can surface anytime within a year after giving birth. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.